Snow White and Rose Red by the Brothers Grimm. Once upon a time there lived a poor widow in a pretty forest cottage. 2 rose bushes bearing white and red roses grew in front of her cottage. The widow had 2 little girls named Snow White and Rose Red. They were as beautiful as roses. One winter evening, there was a knock at the door, and the widow asked Rose Red to answer it. She thought that it might be a traveler seeking shelter from the cold. When Rose Red opened the door, there was a big brown bear. Rose Red screamed, and Snow White hid behind her mother's wooden chair. The bear only wanted to sit by the fire. The bear seemed friendly, so the girls sat and played with him sitting beside the fire. They were no longer afraid of him, and they became friends. The bear sheltered each night in the cottage. When spring came, he said that he wanted to protect his treasure from a wicked dwarf. When the bear was leaving their house, Snow White saw something gold beneath his fur, but she wasn't sure. One day, the girls were collecting firewood in the forest and met a little dwarf. The little dwarf was in trouble. His beard was caught on a tree stump. The girls tried to help him, but they couldn't free him. Snow White took a pair of scissors from her pocket and cut off the end of his beard. The little dwarf grabbed his bag of gold and disappeared without any word of thanks. Later, the girls met the dwarf by the river. His beard was caught in a fishing line. A big fish was pulling him into the water. The brave girls cut off another piece of his beard to save him. The ungrateful dwarf escaped with his bag of pearls. At this moment, a huge eagle caught the dwarf in his beak. The brave girls gripped him in time, and the eagle had to let go. The wicked dwarf wasn't pleased because his coat was torn. One day, the dwarf was sitting and admiring his jewels when the girls were passing by. Suddenly, a big bear appeared. The evil dwarf was frightened and begged for mercy. The huge bear did not listen and put an end to the wicked dwarf. Snow White and Rose Red realized it was their old friend, the bear. At this moment, the bear turned into a handsome prince. The prince told them his sad story about how many years ago the wicked dwarf turned him into a bear and stole his treasure. Now the dwarf was dead, and the prince was free. Snow White married the prince and lived in his palace with Rose Red and her mother. They all lived happily for many, many years together.